Mickey 17 was pretty good. Let's get right into it.
Fighting right to the end.
My great gift to mankind.
So Mickey 17 stars Robert Pattinson, Naomi Ackie, and it's about a disposable employee that's sent to a human expedition to colonize the ice world, Niflheim. After one iteration dies, a new body's regenerated with most of his memories intact. And so this movie already raises the question, is this safe? Is it concerning? What's the religious things? What's the political themes in the movie? There's a whole lot of things to grasp with when you're kind of cheating death. And so this movie, directed by Bong Joon-ho, is really, really interesting because I've been seeing kind of mixed reactions online. I've been seeing a lot of people that don't like it. I actually saw one individual in particular who said they didn't understand why Warner Brothers gave him money to make this movie, and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. And if you're, newer to the channel, then you probably don't know this, but, even the movies that I hate, I still don't think they shouldn't have been created or shouldn't have been made. Like, for example, there's movies right now that I can think of on the top of my head from last year that I just really didn't enjoy, like Blumhouse's Imaginary and Night Swim. Fingers crossed for Woman in the Yard. I'm getting really scared about that one. But it's one of those things where even though sometimes they put out slop and it's corporate stuff, this and that, some of these movies do have like a charm to it, even though I don't like them. Some of them are, coming from writers and directors who just want to get their name out there, and maybe it just didn't work out. And so I just kind of been saying that because kind of speaking to the negativity where it's like, you can be negative, kind of like Captain America. You can be negative all day long, but like at the same time, I'm like, it's a movie. We got other things pressing to worry about. And so, speaking of pressing things to worry about, let's get into this review. Mickey 17 is a wonderful movie. I actually really enjoyed it. It's kind of got the perfect sci-fi elements that you want. So I thought from watching the trailers, I figured it would be on the Snow Planet a lot, but I kind of thought it would be a bunch of sci-fi, space travel, stuff like that. But actually, as I just told you guys, synopsis, they are pretty much stuck on this planet. So, brief rundown of like the kind of like the opening setting up of the story. I'll give minor spoilers. Basically, Mickey and Steven Yeun's character are best friends, but Steven Yeun's really not his best friend. He uses Mickey because Mickey's kind of dumb, and he ends up being like, hey, let's open up this macaroon shop. It's going to be bigger than hamburgers. And so they get a loan from this like mafia guy or whatever, and I think it takes place in like 2050 something or whatever like that, like in the future. And long story short, this guy's like, hey, we're going to kill you guys if you guys don't give us our money, blah, blah. So they end up leaving and going to space because they're like, hey, he can't catch us here on Earth. He'll chase to the ends of Earth, but what about space? And so Mickey just kind of just doesn't read anything that he's signing up for, and he signs up to be an expendable. And that is where they kind of just test on you. See, I was thinking from the trailer that it would be one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, well, we've got him going on these dangerous missions, but, if he dies, we'll just reprint him, right? Like a big if. But actually, they use a lot of his, like, duplicates, like, whenever he gets printed out to test stuff. So, for example, it's like, oh, we can't breathe on this planet that we get to. Go out there and breathe in all those toxins. Okay, now you're dead. We're going to test on your body, find out how to make a vaccine. Now, oh, we made a vaccine, everybody can breathe. And so it gets really kind of cool when you think about it, because it raises a lot of the questions and concerns with this technology, which the movie does ask. But yeah, that's kind of just like the opening synopsis and plot. And as you've seen from the trailer, what happens when Mickey 17 doesn't die and they've already printed out Mickey 18? It kind of raises those questions. It gets really interesting, and I really like how Robert Pattinson is not only playing two characters, but he is playing two different acting characters, because sometimes when they get printed out and they kind of show you, because they kind of show like one dude, for example, he trips over one of the cords, like going like sinking stuff to his brain, and he plugs it back up or whatever. And so it seems like, because the scientists kind of just don't give a fuck, every clone, or I guess reprinting, isn't fully the same, if that makes sense. So like, for example, his girlfriend Nasha, played by Naomi Ackie, she kind of makes a point to him that Mickey 4 and like Mickey number 8 and so like that, like they were kind of clingy and this and that. And so Mickey 18's kind of like a badass. Like, he's like, hey, fuck these people for fucking us over. I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. Like, he kind of goes crazy. And so I kind of like that because I didn't expect that, because Robert Pattinson is basically playing two different characters. He's playing kind of like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of thing, where he's like, hey, Mickey 17's a dumbass who doesn't want to do anything wrong. He just kind of wants to live his life and just chill. And then Mickey 18's like, hey, bro, I'm an anarchist. I'm trying to like blow shit up. Like, he's like, I don't give a fuck. He's like, I've had enough. Okay. And so, you know, you've got other characters in this movie, and I feel like actually it's kind of the downfall of the movie a little bit. So you got Mark Ruffalo and Toni Collette. Toni Collette's fine for what she does. Could have been given to any actress, if we're being honest, because she's not, like, she's prominent, but she's not like as prominent as Mark Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo is like the star villain of this movie, and he's the one running this expedition. He's like an ex-congressman who, you know, isn't really winning and stuff like that. There's a lot of parallels to stuff that they kind of draw from and stuff like that, that people have been pointing out. But I'm being real. Bong Joon-ho, I don't think he's doing anything intentional. Like, he could be. I just don't see that. I really just think that I think he just did that or whatever. But as far as how Mark Ruffalo, and see, for me, he was like the weakest link in Poor Things too. It's almost like he's overacting. Like, it's like he's acting dumb in this movie. Like, not dumb necessarily, but kind of like, you know, like, I'm just evil, just to be. He kind of talks like that too, like, just to be evil. And like, it's just, it feels like overacting. Like, it doesn't feel like he's like, okay, this is like a performance, career, you know, movement performance. Like, it feels like he's making himself do this, and which clearly you are when you're acting, but it's like you can tell. Like, it's like, damn, this shit feels forced as hell. And so for me, he was the weak link of this movie. His villain arc, like, his story's fine. It's just the performance. I'm like, damn, man. But outside of that, I really enjoy this movie. CGI is kind of on point. I love all the character development that you kind of get. So you get kind of teases of like certain things that happen in this universe. So like their branches of government, how they deal with this, how they deal with multiples, and all kinds of stuff like that. And so if this sounds like a movie for you, like if you're like a big sci-fi nerd, something like that, if you're a big Robert Pattinson fan, you've probably already seen it. And he's really good in this movie, for real. I feel like the first 30 minutes will make or break and kind of make you decide if you like the movie or not. Because he does give a certain type of performance, and if you don't like that from Robert Pattinson, you probably won't like this movie. And at first I was kind of, damn, this motherfucker kind of get on my nerves, but that's kind of the point. He's really supposed to be like a bumbling idiot, and once that kind of sinks into you, and you start seeing him die over and over, you kind of feel bad for him, so that it starts pulling on your heartstrings a little bit, because you're like, damn, this dude's basically going through endless torture, and he can't fucking get out of this, he's signed a fucking contract. And so, yeah, when you see that kind of play through, he starts kind of growing on you, and I really am now just kind of where I love the character. But I can definitely see where some people are like, damn, he's got to get on my nerves. But like I said, make or break it for you first 30 minutes. This movie's really, really good. It's got great messages for sure. I really like the little alien characters, because they kind of make a point of like, hey, we're the aliens to them. And they're really cool. And so, yeah, we don't have much to say else about this movie. It's just, I really enjoyed this more than I expected. But as far as this month goes, this was not my most anticipated movie of this month, but it's definitely probably going to go down as one of the best. But next week, we've got a bunch of bangers coming out. I heard Black Bag's really good. I haven't heard anything about Opus yet, but I'm excited. I love that actress, and A24 is putting it out, so I'm excited. And then we get that Looney Tunes movie, Day the Earth Blew Up. I'm like, Warner Brothers doesn't give a fuck, apparently, about this movie. But somehow it's getting a theatrical release, so I will be there for that. And then we're getting Novocaine, a movie I'm very excited for. So, hopefully a bunch of bangers next week. Hopefully not a week where we are going on any rants or anything. But if you do want to see me go on a rant about a movie, click somewhere on the screen. Should be showing up right here in the Lost Lands review. Please like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Dickheads. But Nasha, she's always loved me.
I love my popcorn. Movies, popcorn.